New reports are suggesting that the PlayStation 5 may feature some sort of redesign with a new semi-customized 6nm CPU from AMD. We'll talk about that. E3 2021, baby, it is coming up, and we know some more publishers that are going to be present at the event. And Metro Exodus Complete Edition for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series is going to be dropping next month. More on that in just a little bit. But a PlayStation 5 redesign is going to enter production next year if a new report is to be believed. Now, it is coming from Taiwanese website Digitimes, as reported by Dr. Toto on Twitter. The idea of this redesign is to make the PlayStation 5 cheaper to produce. It'll feature a new semi-customized 6nm CPU from AMD, which again is supposedly cheaper than the one that is currently used in the design. Now, the Taiwanese website in Digitimes does have a little bit of a spotty track record, but they have been on point before. But we'll see how something like this turns out. Now, if you guys don't know, the PlayStation 5, yes, while it's $1,300 or whatever, $1,000 on eBay, the $500 MSRP, Sony actually sells the console at a loss. I believe the digital version is sold at an even greater loss than the disc-based version, but both are sold at a loss. The idea is you always sell a console at a loss, then ultimately you make the money back on the back end when you sell software, PlayStation Plus subscriptions, as well as, games and everything like that, controllers, all that good stuff. The idea is to ultimately make the money back. That's why you want a strong attachment rate to every console that you sell, meaning that every console that you sell, that user will ultimately end up buying 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40 games throughout the course of them owning a PlayStation 5, so you're generating revenue that way as well. But at the end of the day, you do want the console to not be sold at an obscene loss where you can recuperate that money pretty easily. Ideally, you would want to make a net income and be net positive on selling consoles as well, but there's a lot of, costs that go into actually getting it into stores and everything like that. That what you're getting out of the PlayStation 5 for $500 is actually pretty ridiculous if you think about it. Like, it's a powerful console, it's a powerful box if you can actually find it for $500. Nevertheless, if Sony can get it a little bit cheaper while retaining all of that power, if the CPU's still just as good and it's just a semi-customized CPU, and obviously they're not going to gimp the PlayStation 5. I mean, that would be ridiculous to do. Could you imagine them doing that? They're not doing anything like that. They're just designing it in a way where it would ultimately be a bit cheaper. Now, the redesigned console was set to be put into production in the second and third quarter of 2022, so we'll keep an eye on that and see if that ultimately pans out. Okay, moving on from that, E3 is coming up, and E3 has added some more publishers that are going to be there. Bandai Namco Entertainment is going to be there, Gearbox Software is going to be there, Sega, Square Enix, Xseed Games, and more studios have been added already. We know Capcom, Koch Media, Konami, Nintendo, Microsoft, Take-Two Interactive, Ubisoft, and Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment are all going to be there showing off their games. E3 2021 will run as a digital-only event from June 12th to the 15th. You would think that come next year, E3 would be once again held at a venue that would attract a lot of people going to at E3. I mean, those lines at E3 are always crazy, so like going to E3 sounds really fun on paper, but then you actually go to E3 and it's not as great as it is made out to be. I mean, there's fun to be had at E3, don't get me wrong, a lot of events going on and everything like that, but I kind of am digging these digital events with every publisher doing their own thing. Gives us a bit of time to actually hone in on every game instead of waiting on lines all day. But yeah, there's definitely enjoyment to be had out of events like this. But at the very least, it's cool to see E3 back in some form. I know a lot of people are saying E3's dying, E3's on its last legs, but there was always something special about E3, man. I remember growing up, E3 was something that I got so excited for. Like, I remember, I think the first E3 I watched was either I watched 09. That's the one that I vividly remember, but I definitely watched them way before that. I remember 05 to the Final Fantasy VII tech demo that got everybody raving, but 09 E3 was awesome. PSP Go, the worst kept secret ever. There was some really cool stuff. E3 2015, that was probably the greatest E3 conference that I ever saw from Sony. FF7 remake getting announced, and just so many cool games at that event. I just have some very, very fond and nostalgic memories with E3, so it's cool to see that it's back in some form this year as a digital-only event. Okay, lastly, I do want to give you guys a heads up on Metro Exodus Complete Edition. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series versions of Metro Exodus, officially titled Metro Exodus Complete Edition, will be dropping on June 18th. Publisher Deep Silver and developer 4A Games have announced. It'll also be coming with both downloadable content expansions as well, so that's pretty nice. It'll be interesting to see what that is priced at. I imagine it's going to be relatively cheap, probably $39.99, and I think that would be a pretty good price. But Metro Exodus Complete Edition will run at 4K 60 frames per second with full ray traced lighting throughout on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. That's kind of crazy that they're getting all that done for Metro Exodus, but hey, it is a PS4 game being upgraded to the PS5, but still will be really cool to see how good that game looks and runs. But that's going to wrap up this one. Hey, potential PS5 redesign, take it with a grain of salt for now, but that could be pretty interesting if that could lower the production costs. I do not expect a PlayStation 5 price cut anytime soon. Like, let's get that idea out of our head. That's definitely not happening, but for Sony, it might be something cool. E3 2021 has added a bunch of new publishers. I'm always going to be nostalgic with E3. I know for some of you guys, it's a meme, it's a gimmick. I don't care. I enjoy it, and hopefully we see some cool stuff coming out of that. And Metro Exodus Complete Edition is dropping on PS5 and Xbox Series June 18th. That's going to wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.